In this video, you will learn about creating and using MP3 playlist in NuVoice on your Accent speech generating device. You will learn how to load MP3 music files from a USB flash drive, how to create a music playlist, and how to access the playlist from your Accent device.
We're going to go over in this video how to set up some playlists to play through an MP3 player built into the NuVoice software. So right now I'm in the Unity 28 one-hit vocabulary in NuVoice. Note that the songs, the MP3 pages are located under the Pages section. In any Unity vocabulary, you're going to find it in the same spot underneath the Pages section here. So we'll go in there, and then I'm going to go down to the songs down here, and then I'm going to toggle over to MP3 player. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is get some playlists created, or a playlist created with the music that we want. So I've already taken a USB memory stick and loaded some different music MP3 files onto that USB drive, and I've plugged that into one of the USB drives on my Accent. Now I'm going to go into this MP3 player menu, and then from there I'm going to go to the playlist button, and I am going to add an MP3 to my playlist. When I go there, it jumps me into searching. So I look on the top of the screen here, it will show me where it's looking for files. I don't have anything under this music section right now. I'm going to go hit the up folder button and up folder again. Keep going. So I clicked it a couple of times now until I'm looking at these removable media drives. And so this is my USB drive. So if your device, if you have an Accent device that is not integrated or unlocked, meaning you don't have access to the desktop, you're going to actually have to keep your USB drive with your music files plugged into the device anytime that you're wanting to be able to play this playlist. So we'll go over that process first. So I'm going to go to my removable media drive. Taking a moment. I've been finding anytime I have once I'm in there, when I'm opening up a folder through NuVoice that has these big music files, it tends to take a second to load, just as an FYI. So it might take a moment until it comes up. So now I'm looking, I can see here that I'm looking at my E drive, and it's showing me all these checkboxes or files with checkboxes or different songs that I have. So I'm going to just make my first playlist here from my USB. I'm going to check off just these top 4 songs. So that's what I want to add onto my playlist, and I'll go ahead and say OK. Okay, and I see that it's populated them into my list there. And so now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to save my playlist, and it tells me where I can save it to. I find regardless whether your device is integrated or not, it doesn't matter. I'll just say OK to save it into my documents. And then I ask you to give it a name. So I'm going to just call this playlist 1. Okay, and then I hit OK, and OK again, and OK again. I'm going to OK out of this menu because I don't want to have my user to have to go into this menu to hit play on this. I want them to be able to use the nice page that's already designed for you in Unity to be used. So what I want to have happen is when they click on this playlist 1 button, either with their finger or with their switch or with their eyes, whatever their access method is, that it's going to load up my playlist. So by default, right now, this button is sort of just a placeholder. It doesn't have anything programmed under it that's going to play that button. So we need to now that I have my playlist 1 created, I need to edit my playlist. So I'm going to get the setup key, select my button, and then I'm going to go into the spell message or define key function section. Now, if your user is not a auditory prompt switch scanner, then you can clear this out. I'm just going to clear this out for this example. You don't need that prompt marker in there. So I'll hit clear. And then now we're going to add a tool in there so that it knows to play our playlist 1. So I'm going to go to Insert Tool, and then go to this MP3 section for different tools related to the MP3 player. and then I'll select MP3 play playlist, that tool, and then it will jump me into just picking from whichever playlist I have already created. So I've only created one playlist so far, so it went right to My Documents where I saved it. I'll select playlist 1, and then say OK. And I can see now in this spell message, define key function area, it has some kind of code here essentially of the tool that's telling it to play this playlist that we just selected. So we're good to go. I'm going to say OK. And then now when I select my playlist, it should start playing it. And I can use these next arrows to switch to the next song. Okay. I'm going to go back to the previous song. Okay, I can pause it, play it again, skip, or stop. Okay, so we're good. So this is playing our playlist 1. So now we're going to do kind of the same thing, but if your device is integrated or unlocked, meaning you have access to the desktop of the device, it's kind of nice to not have to leave that USB memory stick stuck into the back of your device. So it's really going to be the same process, but we're going to do one other step beforehand, and then we'll create another playlist. So I'm going to hit on the little blue tools button here and go out to the desktop of my device. And then from there, I'm going to open up a file explorer or documents area. And what I will do is I see right here my USB drive. I'm going to go on there, and I can use I have a mouse plugged into a regular USB mouse right now plugged into my device, which helps me to do things like this. So I'm clicking and I'm highlighting all of the files that I want. These are all my MP3 files. And then I'm going to just right click on that and click copy. And then I'm going to go into my documents here, and then I'm going to right click and paste. Perfect. So now all of my music, my MP3 files are now in the My Documents folder on my actual Accent device, so that I'll be able to create a playlist to play right from my device and won't have to keep my USB stick stuck in the device at all times. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go back into NuVoice, which I can get right on top here. Okay, and now let's create another playlist. So I'm going to go back to my MP3 player menu, and I am going to go to the playlist button, and I'm going to say click on create new playlist. So that gives me a whole blank section here. And now we're going to add some MP3s. And for this playlist, let's just actually, sorry, before I start checking things off, right now it's still defaulting actually to pull from that E drive that we had just set it, which is the removable media, that USB. So I want to do My Documents instead, so that I won't have to keep that plugged in there. So I'm going to hit up folder and up folder again, and then I see My Documents. Might take a second for that folder to open since it has those big music files in it. There we go. And now let's check off. I'm going to check off all of them. I want all my songs on this playlist. Okay, so I've checked them all off, and now I'm going to hit OK. Sometimes it gives you this message that would you like it to be fixed. I've found every time I just click yes, and it seems to work fine. So just agree to let NuVoice fix it however it needs to fix it. Okay, so I see all of my songs now in my playlist that's going to play straight from My Documents on the Accent. So now we're going to save that playlist. I'll save it again to My Documents, say OK, and now let's just for simplicity, I'm going to call this playlist 2. And say OK. So now I see it has a name there, playlist 2. OK again. OK out of here. So now I'm going to make this button, we'll go through the steps again to have this button be able to play that playlist from straight from the My Documents instead of the USB. So I'm going to go into spell message or define key function. Maybe in this case, I want to keep the prompt marker there just for an example. So I want to move my cursor all the way to the beginning of this line though before I insert my tool. So I can hit the up arrow and that will automatically jump it to the beginning. Now I'm going to insert a tool, go to MP3, and then MP3 play playlist. And this time I'm going to say playlist 2 and say OK. And I see it there, my command that's in there. Say OK again. So now when I click on, I'm going to pull my USB out of my device. You should hear a little ding maybe that lets you know I pulled it out. And so now I can hit playlist 2 and it will play just directly from the accent. I can skip through all my different songs here. Right. Okay, so it's playing all the songs in my list. So that should hopefully do it. And that's how we're going to play MP3s.